The first thing that struck Commander Alex Reed about the Galactic Council chambers wasn't the grandeur of the crystalline architecture or the shimmering energy fields that kept dozens of alien atmospheres separate and breathable. It was the silence that fell when he walked in. 23 species had gathered for this emergency session, their representatives ranging from the ethereal lumina to the hulking stone-bodied granite. Yet every single one of them stared at Alex with something between wonder and fear. Council Prime Vega, a tall being whose skin shifted colors like aurora, spoke first. "Human, we must discuss your star." Alex frowned. "Our sun? What about it?" "It should not exist," rumbled Granite Representative Tor, his voice like grinding boulders. "According to every model, every law of physics we understand, stars of that type burn out in 50 million years. Your sun has burned for 4.6 billion. The human delegation had come prepared for trade negotiations, not stellar physics. Alex exchanged glances with his science officer, Dr. Maya Chun, who stepped forward nervously. "Perhaps there's been a measurement error," Maya suggested. "Our astronomers have studied Sol extensively." "With respect, Dr. Chun," interrupted Prime Vega, her skin now pulsing deep red, "your species discovered fire 12,000 years ago. We have been mapping stars for 12 million years. There is no error." A chill ran down Alex's spine. Around the chamber, alien faces watched him with expressions he was learning to read: curiosity, suspicion, and something else. Something that looked almost like reverence. "The energy signature is wrong," continued a serpentine being Alex recognized as the Nexus representative. "We've analyzed the radiation patterns from 1,000 light years away. Your sun burns too. Bright, too steady, too purposeful." "Purposeful?" Alex's voice cracked slightly. Prime Vega's colors shifted to deep purple. "Commander Reed, in all our explorations across 100,000 worlds, we have never encountered a species that evolved under an impossible star. Until now." The weight of their stares pressed down on him. These beings had traveled between stars when humans were still painting on cave walls, yet they spoke of Sol like it was a miracle they couldn't understand. Every great bond starts with a single moment of courage. HFY Chronicle Stories is just beginning, and your support matters. If you love emotional sci-fi tales, forbidden connections, and stories that stay with you, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us bring more stories from the stars to you. Maya pulled up her tablet, fingers flying across the interface. "The spectral analysis shows normal hydrogen fusion," she said, but her voice wavered. "Temperature, luminosity, solar wind. Patterns, everything matches theoretical models for a G-type main sequence star." "Surface readings, yes," agreed the Nexus representative. "But look deeper. The quantum resonance patterns, the gravitational field fluctuations, the way it affects spacetime itself." His scaled head tilted. "Your star sings, Commander Reed." "Stars don't sing." Alex felt the ground shifting beneath his feet. Everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe was being challenged by beings who treated impossible as a diagnosis. "What are you telling us?" he asked quietly. Prime Vega's colors deepened to near black. "We're telling you that your sun is not a star, Commander. It's something else entirely. Something that was placed there. Something that has been waiting." The chamber fell silent again, and Alex realized that 23 civilizations had called this emergency session not to welcome humanity to the galactic community, but to ask a single terrifying question. What were humans really, and what had made their impossible star? The next 72 hours passed in a blur of emergency conferences and sleepless nights aboard the human delegation ship. Alex stared out the viewport at the distant stars, wondering if any of them were as impossible as the one that had given birth to his species. Dr. Maya Shun hadn't left the lab in 2 days. When Alex finally found her, she was surrounded by holographic displays showing Sol from every conceivable angle, each one overlaid with alien data that made her look smaller and more overwhelmed. "Tell me you found something that makes sense," Alex said, settling into the chair beside her. Maya laughed, but there was no humor in it. "I've found something that makes everything else seem like a children's story." She gestured to the largest display. The Lumina shared their deep field scans. "Alex, our sun's core temperature should be 15 million degrees. It's reading at 47 million. That's impossible. According to physics, yes. According to the data, no." She pulled up another display. "The granite showed me gravitational readings from their mining operations in the asteroid belt. There are micro-fluctuations in Sol's gravitational field that follow a pattern. Not a natural pattern, a designed one." Alex stared at the data streams, seeing curves and peaks that looked almost like, "Is that a signal? It gets worse." Maya's hands shook as she switched displays. The Nexus have been monitoring what they call quantum whispers, subatomic communications that travel faster than light. They've been trying to decode them for millennia. The new display showed wave patterns that pulsed in complex rhythms. Even to Alex's untrained eye, they looked intentional. "They're coming from Sol," Maya whispered. "Every 18 minutes and 43 seconds, our sun broadcasts a quantum signal that reaches every corner of the galaxy. It's been doing it for millions of years." Alex felt the blood drain from his face. "Broadcasting what?" "That's just it. They can't decode it. But 3 days ago, when our ship entered this system, the signal changed. For the first time in recorded history, it's different." Before Alex could respond, his communicator chimed. Prime Viga's voice filled the lab. "Commander Reed, please. Report to the council chambers immediately. Something has happened." The emergency session was even more chaotic than the first. Representatives were speaking in their native languages, translation systems struggling to keep up with the rapid-fire exchanges. Alex caught fragments: signal amplification, quantum cascade, impossible energy readings. Prime Viga's skin was cycling through colors so rapidly it hurt to look at. "Commander, your sun's quantum broadcasts have increased in intensity by 3,000%. Our monitoring stations across the galaxy are detecting unprecedented changes in the quantum field itself." "What kind of changes?" Alex asked, though he dreaded the answer. The Nexus representative slithered forward. "Space-time distortions, reality fluctuations, and something else. Other signals are responding." A holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, showing a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Dozens of points were pulsing with light, scattered across star systems Alex had never heard of. "Those are automated response beacons," Prime Viga explained. "Ancient technology that we've detected but never understood. They've been dormant for millions of years, until now." Alex stared at the map, counting the lights. "How many?" 47. "Confirmed, with more activating every hour. They're all broadcasting the same quantum signature, a signature that matches your sun's new signal pattern." The implications hit Alex like a physical blow. "You're saying Sol woke them up?" "We're saying," rumbled Tor, "that your impossible star just activated a galaxy-wide network that predates every civilization in this chamber. The question is, what was it waiting for?" Dr. Maya Chun's voice came through Alex's communicator, tight with excitement and terror. "Alex, you need to see this. The quantum signals, I've been running them through every translation matrix we have. I think I know what Sol has been broadcasting all these years." "What?" "Coordinates. It's been broadcasting Earth's coordinates. And now that the network is active, something is broadcasting back. The revelation that Sol had been broadcasting Earth's location for millions of years sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. Within hours, the chamber had transformed into a war room, with military advisors from every major species analyzing the quantum network's activation patterns. Alex stood before the assembled representatives, feeling the weight of his species. Future pressing down on him. The holographic galaxy map now showed 73 active beacon points, their signals growing stronger by the hour. "The pattern is clear," announced Admiral Kess, the Council's chief military strategist. Her four arms moved in precise gestures as she manipulated the display. The activated beacons form a perfect spiral leading from the galaxy's outer rim directly to your solar system. "A pathway," whispered Dr. Maya Chun from beside Alex. "It's like a roadmap." Prime Viga's skin had settled into a steady, ominous crimson. "In our records, we have legends of the architect's beings who seeded technology throughout the galaxy before vanishing. We assumed they were myths. The quantum signatures match theoretical models for architect technology," added the Nexus representative. "But the power levels are unlike anything in our databases. Whatever built your son's beacon had capabilities far beyond our current understanding." Alex felt a chill that had nothing to do with the chamber's temperature. "You're saying ancient beings turned our sun into a beacon millions of years ago?" "Not turned," corrected Tor, his stone features grave, "replaced. The stellar composition. Analysis shows your sun was constructed, not born. Every atom was precisely placed." The implication staggered Alex. "But why? Why Earth? Why humans?" "Perhaps," suggested a tall, crystalline being from the Harmony Collective, "the question is not why humans, but when humans. The beacon has been broadcasting for millions of years, but the network only activated when your species reached a certain development level." Dr. Maya Chun pulled up her tablet, fingers dancing across the surface. "The signal changes started exactly when we achieved faster-than-light communication. Our first quantum transmission test was 3 days ago." "The beacon was waiting," Prime Viga said slowly, "for humanity to develop quantum communication technology. The moment you could potentially receive a quantum signal, the network activated." Alex's mind raced. "But that means," "It means," interrupted Admiral Kess, "that something has been waiting for humanity to reach technological maturity. Something that needed you to be able to receive its response." The chamber's main display suddenly blazed with new information. Alarms chimed as monitoring stations across the galaxy detected massive energy signatures moving through space. "Admiral," reported a technician, "we're detecting multiple large objects entering hyperspace near the activated beacon sites. They're moving toward the galaxy's core." "Toward Earth," Maya whispered. The display zoomed in on one of the energy signatures. The shape that emerged from the sensor data was unlike anything in the Council's database's organic curves merged with crystalline structures, massive beyond comprehension. "How many?" Alex asked, his voice barely steady. 17 confirmed. Contacts with more appearing every few minutes. They're using a form of faster-than-light travel that our sensors can barely track." Prime Viga turned to Alex. Her colors now cycling through what he'd learned meant deep concern. "Commander Reed, we must ask, has your species received any communications from these ... visitors?" "Not that I'm aware of," Alex replied, but even as he spoke, his communicator buzzed with an urgent message from Earth. The voice of Director Harrison from Earth's Deep Space Communications filled the chamber. "Commander Reed, we've been receiving quantum transmissions for the past 6 hours. They're incredibly complex, but our AIs have managed to decode fragments. The messages are addressed to humanity specifically, and they're coming from the direction of the activated beacons." "What do they say?" Alex asked, dreading the answer. 3 words repeated in hundreds of languages, including some we don't recognize. "Children, come home." The silence that followed was deafening. 23 alien civilizations stared at Alex with expressions ranging from awe to terror, and he realized that humanity's first contact with galactic civilization had just become something far more profound and frightening than anyone had imagined. The architects hadn't just built Sol as a beacon, they'd built it as a nursery, And now the parents were coming to collect their children. The next 18 hours transformed Earth's solar system into the most closely watched location in the galaxy. Ships from every major civilization had jumped to the system's edge, their crews maintaining a respectful but terrified distance from the impossible star that had started it all. Alex stood on the bridge of the flagship Endeavour, watching the tactical display that showed 17 massive objects approaching through hyperspace. Each one dwarfed Earth's largest space stations, their energy signatures unlike anything in the known universe. Time to arrival? He asked Captain Nina Ross, Earth's most experienced deep space commander. 14 hours, 37 minutes. She replied, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what they faced. The quantum communications are getting stronger. Our AIs have decoded more of the transmissions. Dr. Maya Chun looked up from her station, exhaustion evident in her eyes. The messages are becoming more specific. They're not just calling us children anymore. They're using individual names. Names? Alex felt his heart skip. What names? Thousands of them. Names of people who've never been born, in languages that don't exist yet. But also ... She paused, her face pale. Also names of people who lived thousands of years ago. Historical figures, random citizens, people whose DNA samples are in our genetic archives. The implication sent a chill through the bridge crew. Whatever was coming knew humanity better than humanity knew itself. There's more, Maya continued. The quantum signals are interacting with Sol's beacon in ways we don't understand. The star's output has increased by 12%, and the gravitational effects are starting to affect the outer planet's orbits. Captain Ross stepped forward. Commander, I've been in contact with the Galactic Council fleet. Admiral Kess is requesting permission to establish a defensive perimeter around Earth. Defensive against what? Alex asked. We don't even know if these ... architects ... are hostile. With respect, sir, Ross replied, we don't know if they're friendly either. And they've been manipulating humanity's evolution for millions of years without our knowledge or consent. The main display suddenly shifted, showing a real-time image of Sol. The star's surface was changing, vast patterns of light dancing across its corona in shapes that looked almost like writing. My God, whispered Maya, it's beautiful. It's also growing, reported the navigation officer. Sol's solar wind is intensifying, and the magnetic field is expanding beyond the heliopause. Alex's communicator chimed with an urgent message from Prime Vega. Commander Reed, the approaching objects have begun transmitting visual data. You need to see this. The main screen filled with an image that took Alex's breath away. The approaching ships, if they could be called ships, were living cities of crystal and light, their surfaces pulsing with the same patterns now visible on Sol. But it wasn't their beauty that stunned him. It was their familiarity. Those architectural elements, Maya said, her voice filled with wonder. They match structures in human art going back millennia. The golden ratio, the spiral patterns, the way light reflects off crystal surfaces. All there in our greatest works. Because we were designed to find them beautiful, Alex realized. Our aesthetic sense, our artistic inspiration, it's all been programmed into us. A new voice filled the bridge, transmitted directly through the quantum communication array. It spoke in perfect English, but there was something otherworldly about its resonance. Children of Terra, keepers of the beacon flame, the time of separation ends. You have grown as we hoped, learned as we planned, created as we dreamed. The network is complete, and the great work can begin. Alex stepped forward, his voice carrying across space through technologies he barely understood. Who are you? What do you want from us? We are the Seeders, the architects of possibility. What we want cannot be taken, only given. What we offer cannot be forced, only chosen. The image on the screen shifted, showing Earth from space. But overlaid with patterns of light that seemed to connect every major city, every center of human learning and creativity. Your species stands at the threshold, young cousins. The beacon you call soul was placed not to summon us, but to nurture you, to give you a stable star around which to grow, to dream, to become worthy of the inheritance we offer. What inheritance? Alex asked. The knowledge to tend the gardens of a million worlds. The wisdom to nurture life where none exists. The power to light beacons of your own and guide new species to their own threshold. As the words sank in, Alex realized the full scope of what was being offered. Humanity wasn't being conquered or collected. They were being invited to join something vast and ancient, a cosmic gardening project that spanned galaxies. The question was, were they ready for such responsibility? The 17 architect vessels entered Earth's solar system like living cathedrals of light, their crystalline structures singing in harmonies that resonated through the quantum field itself. Alex watched from the bridge of the Endeavor as they took positions around Sol, forming a perfect geometric pattern that somehow made the impossible star burn even brighter. The gravitational effects are stabilizing, reported Dr. Maya Shin, her voice filled with wonder. Whatever they're doing, it's not just beautiful, it's precise beyond our ability to measure. The lead architect vessel, a spiral of crystal, and energy that stretched for hundreds of kilometers, moved closer to Earth. Its quantum transmissions filled the bridge with a voice that seemed to speak directly to the soul. Children of Terra, witness the garden you have tended unknowingly. The main display filled with images that took Alex's breath away. Earth, but not as he'd ever seen it. The planet glowed with networks of light that connected every forest, every ocean, every place where life flourished. The aurora borealis expanded beyond the poles, painting the entire atmosphere in sheets of green and gold. Your compassion for other species, your drive to preserve and protect life, your instinct to explore and create, these were not accidents of evolution. They were gifts, carefully cultivated over millions of years. Alex stepped forward, his voice carrying the weight of his species' future. Why us? Why not one of the other civilizations? Some of them have been spacefaring for millions of years. Because they learned to conquer first, to nurture second. You learn to nurture first, to protect what you found precious. This is why we chose your world for our greatest experiment. The display shifted, showing other star systems throughout the galaxy. Each one had a beacon-like soul, each one nurturing a different species at a different stage of development. The Lumina were our first success, taught to work with energy and light. The Granite learned to shape matter itself. The Nexus became masters of information and connection. But none learned what you have learned. Which is, Maya asked, to love what is not yourself, to sacrifice for those who cannot repay you, to fight not for conquest, but for the right of others to exist and thrive. Alex felt tears on his cheeks as more images filled the screen. Humans throughout history, a firefighter running into a burning building, a teacher working with special needs children, a marine biologist dedicating her life to saving whales, a farmer sharing his harvest with neighbors during a famine. Every act of selfless love, every moment of sacrifice for others, every choice to preserve rather than destroy. These were the true tests, and you passed them all. Prime Viga's voice came through the communication array. Commander Reed, the quantum readings are off our scales. The architects aren't just communicating, they're transforming the space around Sol into something we've never seen before. The view of the solar system confirmed her words. The space between the planets was filling with streams of light, quantum pathways that connected each world in a vast web of energy. Mars glowed red with new atmosphere, Venus's clouds cleared to reveal oceans, and the moons of Jupiter sparked with the beginnings of life. This is your inheritance, the architect voice continued. Not just the knowledge to terraform worlds, but the wisdom to know which worlds should be transformed, and which should be left pristine. Not just the power to create life, but the understanding of when life should be created and when it should be allowed to emerge naturally. Alex looked around the bridge at his crew humans who had chosen to risk everything to reach for the stars, to make contact with alien civilizations, to represent their species in the vast darkness of space. "What do you need from us?" he asked. "Nothing. You have not already given. Your choice to come to the stars rather than hide on your world. Your decision to seek cooperation rather than domination. Your willingness to risk everything for the chance to understand and protect something greater than yourselves." The architect vessels began to move, taking positions throughout the solar system. Where they passed, worlds bloomed with new life, and the quantum beacons of other civilizations began singing in harmony with Sol's ancient song. "The network is complete," the voice announced. "The galaxy's gardens are ready for new caretakers. Will you accept this responsibility, children of Terra?" Alex looked at Maya, at Captain Ross, at the faces of his crew. He thought of Earth, of the billions of humans who had never asked for this destiny, but who had earned it through countless small acts of love and sacrifice. "We accept," he said, and as the words left his lips, Sol's light reached out across the galaxy, touching every world where life struggled to survive, every species reaching toward the stars, every civilization taking its first tentative steps. Into the cosmic garden, humanity's childhood was over. Their true work was just beginning, and in the space between stars, new beacons began to sing, each one a promise that no species would ever have to face the darkness alone.